Hi, I'm Susanna Kate of Peppergoose Design, and I made this video to highlight my Sashiko Happy Coat in lead up to my crochet-a-along, which kind of actually starts tomorrow. We're starting with swatching tomorrow, and that's pretty exciting. Not exciting for everybody, but it's always an essential part of garment making. And I am a designer of crochet garments. That's my specialty area. I designed this coat and released this coat 5 years ago. So I thought I would celebrate 5 years since its release by having a repeat crochet-along. I actually released this design in 2019 at the Crochet Guild of America conference. It's a great event to go to if you're able to attend one day. And I launched the pattern there, and then it was actually hosted in the Scheepjes international and Dutch Facebook groups as a make-along around about 6 months later, just as COVID hit. So that was fun. A lot of people made coats, but also a lot of people made partial coats that are kind of in naughty corners. And I think it's good to bring them out, finish them off, and also maybe there's a whole bunch of new people that haven't been exposed or seen the coat. This video is kind of a rundown of the whole thing, I guess, just in lead up to when we start swatching tomorrow. I'll do a separate swatching video for technical advice, but this is more of an overview of the coat. So I'm actually wearing my second version of the coat in blue and white. Now I've made little videos of each of the versions that I've made. So I've actually made 4 different coats, 3 Sashiko Happy Coats and 1 Bessie Alice Tweed, which is a more conservative variation on this pattern. So I might just cut to the videos now so you can see the full length version of this coat as well as the other 3 that I have made. And ultimately, to make the coloured versions you'll see, they're all based on the Sashiko Happy Coat pattern, and then the black and white version you'll see is the Bessie Alice Tweed, and that's actually a different fibre as well. So I'll just cut to that now. It is in vertical format, so my video is going to be blocked out on either side, otherwise I couldn't get the full length in. So let's just put some music on and just watch a few videos of what you can expect in terms of how this coat moves and hangs on the body and functions. So we'll be back in a minute. Tell you about the crochet-along. It's a fairly low-key affair. I'm hosting it in my private Facebook group, which is called Peppergaggle. All you need to do to join in is to buy the pattern from Ravelry or from Etsy. It's available from there too. And then join Peppergaggle and join in the conversation. Ultimately, we'll be stepping through all the things we need to do to make the coat. It's going to be over about a 10-week period from the July 27th through to October 5th. And pretty well each week or fortnight, depending on the interval that I'm talking through for the pattern, I'll be sharing some tips and directing you to some blogs that I used 5 years ago, as well as some sort of extra tidbits along the way. It's my understanding of where people get stuck in the coat is greater now than it was back then, so I can tweak my advice a little bit more too. But it's really great in any garment, adventure that you can make it together and help each other. I like that about crochet-alongs. It's actually a very supportive environment that I'm trying to foster there. So I hope you might like to join us, and even if you don't join in for a couple of weeks, the 10 weeks over the whole period is a long time, and you do have some catch-up time in there. The original make-along ran over 2 weeks of prep and 4 weeks of making, so we've got some extra time in there, and yeah, just have a go. Now, the main thing that you'll probably want to know about, well, can I do this, is how hard is it? Well, I designed this coat basically around basic crochet stitches used in innovative ways, so well, you can get dramatic effects like this double-sided collar by using slip stitch crochet, and then the main bodice and main fabric that makes up the garment is actually using double crochet, that's in UK terms, but by working it in the front loop only, you get this ridge that happens every second row, and that helps with landmarks for when you are working the slip stitch embroidery afterwards. So by designing this coat around regular stitches, such as the double crochet with using the front loop only, and the slip stitch, that really is pretty well the only stitches used in this pattern. So in US terms, that's a single crochet and a slip stitch. Like even the seams where we've joined pieces together actually uses crochet, being the slip stitch. So really the challenge around this project is more controlling your tension and having the patience to follow the steps and follow it all the way through, and following or knowing where to stitch next on the embroidery pattern tripped up a few people in the first make along, and so I've got some support material around that as well. Now the bottom line here really is, if you can actually make the swatch, then you can make the coat. Now the swatch is here. This is an example. It's a very specific sized swatch because mathematically we still need a certain number of stitches to actually fit this embroidery on it. So the exact number of stitches and the exact number of rows is required. And the instructions for this swatch are actually on my blog for free. I will put a link to that blog below, so you can actually try the swatch and see how you go, and then jump into the project if you like. But that's basically it. If you can make this swatch and still have the embroidery able to move that bit with the fabric, then you're good to go. The rest is just following the instructions step by step. So let's have a little rundown on how to make the coat in concept. There are 4 pieces. I'll just pop this swatch down. Basically there are 4 pieces. We've got the collar, the bodice, and then the 2 sleeves. And these are all made individually, and then they are blocked. Now the blocking is essentially washing the fabric. It's having a short soak in cool to tepid water with wetting agent, and then rinsing out and drying off and laying it out to gauge. So to do that, I've got videos around that and support around that, but ultimately we need to make those 4 pieces and then block them. Now once that fabric has been blocked, it has relaxed. The length of this coat changes in this yarn, which is Scheepjes Our Tribe. It may behave differently in your yarn, but depending on what you want to use. But ultimately, any fabric is most relaxed after it has been blocked. And because we then want to work the slip stitch embroidery afterwards, we need that fabric to be in its relaxed state first. Otherwise, we might crochet it, do the slip stitch embroidery, and then one day we're going to wash it because it's a garment, and then it will sag between the embroidery, and no one's going to be happy with that. So in essence, the basic steps are: we make the swatch, we make sure we're all on track there, and get started on the actual garment by making 4 different pieces. We block those pieces, then we embroider those pieces with slip stitch crochet, and then we join them together with crochet. And then put some trims on, do a button or 2, and then you get to wear your coat out loud and proud. So I hope you'd like to join in, and see you in Peppergoose.